Hey CIMA P1 champions, and welcome. Today, we are going to absolutely master one of the most important concepts for your exam, break-even analysis. Now, this isn't just about memorizing formulas to pass. Nope. This is about learning to think like a top-tier management accountant. By the time we're done here, you'll have the confidence to make sharp, data-driven decisions. Let's get you exam ready. And here's my promise to you. By the end of this session, you are going to have a rock-solid step-by-step game plan to crush any break-even question the examiner can possibly throw at you. We're going to turn any confusion into pure confidence. Let's jump right in. So, here's our mastery map for today. We'll start with the basic mission, then get our hands dirty with single and multiple products. After that, we'll see how charts tell a visual story, check out some modern tools, and, super important, I'll show you the exam traps to sidestep. Then we'll wrap it all up with a quick recap and a final challenge. All right, first things first, let's get on the same page about our mission. What does it actually really mean to break even? The break-even point, think of it as the starting line in a race. It's that magic number where your total income exactly equals your total costs. You're not making money, but you're not losing it either. So why is this a big deal? Because everything before this point is just paying back your costs. Every single sale after this point, that's pure profit. It's the foundation for understanding risk. To find that magic number, we gotta know our costs. And we split them into two main groups. First, you've got your fixed costs. These guys are stubborn. Think about rent for a building. It doesn't matter if you produce one thing or a million things, you're paying that same rent. Then you've got variable costs. These change with how much you make. For our example, let's start a little business called Panda's Popcorn Stand. The more popcorn we sell, the more kernels and boxes we have to buy, right? Those are our variable costs. Okay, now for the fun part. Let's roll up our sleeves and master the calculations for a single product, using our awesome Panda's Popcorn Stand. Before we do any big calculations, you need to meet the hero of this entire story, contribution. Now listen close. This is not the same as profit. Contribution is the little bit of cash from every single sale that goes towards one job, paying off those big, stubborn, fixed costs. Once the fixed costs are all paid off, every dollar of contribution becomes pure profit. It's the engine that drives your business forward. So let's run the numbers for Panda's Popcorn. We sell a box for $8. The variable costs, the corn, the butter, the box, that'll adds up to $6.50. So you take the selling price, subtract the variable costs, and we're left with $1.50. That's our contribution. Every single box we sell chips in $1.50 to help pay the rent. And that brings us to our first superstar formula. If you want to know how many things you need to sell to break even, you just take your total fixed costs and divide them by the contribution you get from one unit. It's totally logical, right? It's just asking how many of these little $1.50 payments do I need to cover my big pile of fixed costs. Let's plug in Panda's numbers. We've got $6,000 in fixed costs. We know each box contributes $1.50. So we divide 6,000 by 1.5 and boom, 4,000 units. That is our break-even point. Panda has to sell exactly 4,000 boxes just to cover its bills. The 4,000 in first box, that's when the real party starts. That's profit. Okay, breaking even is cool for survival, but businesses want to thrive, right? They want to make a profit. So how do we figure out how many units we need to sell to hit a specific profit goal? Well, the formula is a simple little tweak on what we just learned. Let's say Panda has a new goal to make $3,000 in profit this month. All we do is treat that profit target like another fixed cost we need to cover. So we add our $6,000 in fixed costs to our $3,000 profit target. That gives us a new mountain to climb, $9,000. We divide that by our trusty $1.50 contribution, and there it is. We need to sell 6,000 units. Now, for a concept that is absolutely crucial for understanding business risk, it's called the margin of safety. Basically, it's your buffer. It's the difference between what you plan to sell and what you need to sell just to break even. It answers the question, how much can my sales drop before I start losing money? Let's calculate this for Panda. Say the sales budget for the month is 7,000 boxes. We already know our break-even point is 4,000. So our margin of safety is simply the difference, 3,000 units. To turn that into a percentage, which is way more useful, we just divide that 3,000 unit cushion by our budgeted sales of 7,000. That gives us a margin of safety of about 43%. That's a pretty healthy cushion. It tells us sales could fall by 43% before we'd be in the red.
Okay, you have completely mastered this single product. But let's be real, most businesses sell more than one thing. So let's level up our skills. Pandas is doing so well they've added drinks to the menu. So check this out. The drink sells for $4, its variable cost is $2, which means it has a contribution of $2. Whoa, wait a second, that's actually higher than the popcorn's contribution. That's a great insight for management. But here's the key for our calculation. We know from the sales data that for every 2 boxes of popcorn Panda sells, they sell 1 drink. That 2-to-1 ratio is everything for our next step.
So we can't just use one contribution number anymore. We need a weighted average. Here's how we do it. First, we figure out the total contribution from one standard bundle of sales. That's 2 popcorns contributing $1.50 each, plus 1 drink contributing $2. That's a total of $5 in contribution for that 3-item bundle. To get the average per unit, we just divide that $5 by the 3 units in the bundle, giving us a weighted average contribution of about $1.67. And you know what's great? The formula for the break-even point in units is basically the same. We just swap out the single contribution per unit for our new, shiny, weighted average contribution per unit. We just take our total fixed costs and divide by that weighted average number. It's a super powerful technique that lets you handle any number of products, as long as you know that sales mix. All right, we've crunched the numbers. Now let's look at the pictures. CIMA examiners absolutely love to test your understanding of break-even with charts, so let's make sure you can read them like a pro. This right here is the classic break-even chart. It tells the entire story of profitability in one glance. See that flat horizontal line? That's your fixed costs. They stay the same no matter what. The diagonal line starting from that point is your total cost line, and the other diagonal line starting from 0, that's your total revenue. The whole story happens right where those lines meet. So what is the single most important point on this entire graph? What does that spot where the total revenue line crosses the total cost line actually show us? You got it. That's the break-even point. To the left of that point, you're in the loss zone. And that beautiful shaded area to the right, that, my friends, is the profit zone. Now, if you want to simplify things even more, there's the profit volume or PV chart. This one cuts right to the chase. It just plots one single line that shows profit or loss. See how it starts below the line? At 0 sales, your loss is equal to your total fixed costs. Then, the line crosses that middle axis at the break-even point and climbs up into profit. It's a really clear way to see how sales volume directly impacts your bottom line. Okay, we have the theory down cold. Now let's bring this into the 21st century and, most importantly, talk about how you can avoid some common mistakes in your exam. So while we're learning this with a pen and paper, you gotta know that in the real world, this whole process is on steroids. Management accountants use things like Excel for instant what-if scenarios, algorithms to find the perfect price, and even AI to predict future costs. But here's the thing, the logic powering all of that fancy tech, it's exactly what you're mastering right now. Okay, everybody, lean in. This slide alone could save you so many marks. These are the classic traps that examiners just love to set. The number one biggest mistake is confusing contribution with profit. We're going to hit that one more time in a second. Also, be careful you don't forget any of the fixed costs they give you or accidentally use the single product formula for a multi-product question. You've got to be on the lookout for these. Let's just hammer this home one last time because it is that important. Contribution is your building block. It's constant per unit. Profit, that's the end result. It's what's left over after all those contribution blocks have completely paid for the wall of fixed costs. This means profit per unit actually changes as you sell more. So remember, contribution is the tool, profit is the result. Whew! We have covered a ton of ground today. So let's lock in all that new knowledge with a super quick recap and then a final challenge to test your skills. All right, here are the absolute essentials all on one slide. Break-even in units is just fixed costs divided by contribution per unit. For a target profit, you just add that profit to your fixed costs before you divide. For margin of safety, it's your sales cushion divided by your budgeted sales. And for multiple products, you just swap in that weighted average contribution. Screenshot this, write it down, whatever you need to do to burn it into your brain. Okay, it's your turn. Here's question 1. You've got fixed costs of $150,000. A single product sells for $50 with a variable cost of $20. The question is asking for the break-even point in revenue. Go ahead and pause here and work it out.
Question 2 builds right on top of the first one. Using that exact same data, if the company budgets to sell 8,000 units, what is its margin of safety as a percentage? Go on, pause again, apply the formula, and see what you get.
And now for the final challenge, a multi-product question. You've got two products, A and B, selling in a 3-to-1 mix. You're given their contributions and the total fixed costs. But be careful, the question is very specific. How many units of just product A have to be sold to break even? This is a fantastic test of everything we've covered. And that is it. You've gone all the way from the basics to multi-product analysis, and just as important, you know the exam traps to look out for. You now have the complete toolkit. The only thing left to do is practice. Get into your question bank, use these methods, and build that confidence so you can walk into that exam and absolutely ace it. You've got this.